Hey there, soccer fans. Welcome on into another episode here of Between the Posts, where, of course, he's Matt, and, of course, I'm Jason. We're going to talk this weekend in the Premier League, and we'll also pick up a couple midweek EFL Cup games as well. Boy, it's been a long time since we've been with you guys. Obviously, we've had the holiday break. We've had a combination of some Cup games, the Premier League doing their first ever pseudo winter break. It's not really a winter break, don't kid yourself, but you're getting some amount of time off, which is definitely needed for these players. So been about a month or so. We'll look forward to jumping back into the action, of course, seeing you guys on a weekly basis here on Thursdays like we do. Let's welcome Matt on in. How are you doing, man?
Great, great. Yeah. Like you mentioned, the winter break, it is needed. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries that have kind of stockpiled over the last month or so after that Christmas period with so many matches. So, and then you have all of these other guys that are going, to either the Asian Cup or the AFCON. And so they're not getting any break really. So it's, it's pretty incredible. Yeah, these guys just play so much, and it's great for us, to have games to watch and bet. But from a player like personnel and health standpoint,
Brutal.
it's kind of stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brutal. Absolutely brutal. I mean, I remember Guardiola when he was talking about Kevin De Bruyne come back. He said how the guys had 18 days off from their end of their Champions League to when they had to report, due to their summer training wherever they went, Asia or, where 18 days? Are you kidding me? For the top players, right? They do all the international stuff and they do the club stuff. 18 days off. Pretty remarkable stuff. And it was good to see Kevin De Bruyne actually back on the pitch. The best player on the planet is back playing football every 3 or 4 days. You love to see it right there. Let's jump on into the action today. Let's first start with these five Premier League games. It kicks off Saturday morning. Arsenal taking on Crystal Palace. I look at this matchup. I think Arsenal got a little bit of a gift here with this winter break, right? They were stumbling. They hadn't won their last 3 to 4 matches. Where meanwhile, Crystal Palace, not only does Arsenal come into this game rested, but Crystal Palace played yesterday against Everton there in the FA Cup, having to do one of their replays. So obviously all the rest, all the preparation advantage goes to Arsenal. They're the better team. They've won these last head-to-heads 3 times. 2 of those last 3 have been via the clean sheet. This is one of those where you don't know what you're going to get with pesky Palace, so I don't know if I'm willing to do, Arsenal and over 1.5, Arsenal and under 4.5. I think I'm willing to just use Arsenal on the money line here, and I think there's another team a little bit later on this show you should be able to pair them up with. But Matt, is it about as straightforward as you see it with me? Arsenal's going to get the job done here, rebound in a great spot here at home.
yeah. I think it's really straightforward. Like you mentioned, the break could not have come at a better time for this team. They have been struggling, but Palace, as well, they've got injuries that are very key. They've been out without Decore for a long time, and he re-injured his hamstring recently. So they're kind of in the market looking for Calvin Phillips from Man City on loan. They really need a holding mid. Michael Elise looks set to miss this match.
That's
Um,
everything. That's all they have across that. That is their best attacker, Elise.
Exactly. So he's the guy, that can get, when you're sitting in deep, can cause the other team some issues on the counter attack. They don't have that. They don't have IU, who always is pretty solid at holding up the ball. In those kind of moments, in these kind of games, you need guys that can hold the ball, dribble, create fouls to be able to give your defense some breather
Yeah.
time. And so for me, this is really straightforward. I think that Arsenal they come out hungry. The break could not have done them really much better. Like, they've been a team that's been pretty rested. They were knocked out of the FA Cup. They're not in the League Cup, so they've had a nice little break here. And so I've gone with Arsenal halftime, full time in this one, minus 120 on FanDuel. And yeah, I mean, I think that Palace will be still, like, they've still got the good center halves. They've got a good defense. So it's not going to be easy, and Arsenal are going to need to just play better. They've been struggling, in front of net. So I really need the crowd to be, kind of going here from the very get-go at the Emirates, and to try to get that early goal, because I don't think that Palace are going to score here. I also looked at, both teams to score no in this one. I think Arsenal keep a clean sheet. I don't think that Palace have enough to threaten them. So that's kind of another look.
Yeah, I would almost think, Matt, that if you don't get Olise, when the lineups come out that Arsenal win to nil may even be the way to go. I mean, Palace is not scoring. They've got the second least amount of goals scored in the entire league. We've kind of talked about all their stats, at least from a first half perspective. They only got 22 goals scored this entire campaign in 20 games. That is absolutely dreadful. Again, that's second worst. Only only Burnley is worse in the league in terms of the amount of goals scored, overall. I think Arsenal win to nil could be the play here. If you want to keep it to a single play, you get lineups, you get no Elise, Arsenal win to nil. Palace isn't going to get it done here on the road. A struggling side, going to come in very tired after that FA Cup replay against Everton. So if you're looking for a parlay piece, I say Arsenal on the money line, a single play, halftime, full time, should be able to get it done halftime. But Palace is going to keep that thing, about as nip and tuck as long as they can. That's just going to be the tactics going in this one. This one could be 1-0 at halftime. You're not going to be 2-3-0 at halftime. It's not going to be like that against Palace. You're going to squeak it out 1-0, which is fine. But I kind of like the win to nil a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think that's also a very, very strong look. So, hoping that Odegaard and Saka and those guys can create something early when they're fresh. But yeah, you're right. They're going to have to break down a 10-men defense, and that kind of sucks for a halftime, full-time play.
And that's tough. And that's, and especially when it involves Palace. So, all right, we'll see what unfolds there. But either way, I think Arsenal is certainly a good money line parlay piece. And like I said, 2 of the last 3 via the clean sheet. Yeah, look for them to, I think, win 2-0 on this one. All right, the other matchup on Saturday is Brentford versus Nottingham, where taking the headline is something that you talked about offline. Ivan Toney is coming back after an 8th-month gambling ban. He's at least available for selection. Don't know if Frank is going to pick him or not, but he's at least available on the team sheet. Then you start to factor in who's away on AFCON. It's almost like he's going to be thrown in. He already scored in a closed match friendly behind doors, so he's got his legs up under him. I'd be shocked if he's not just thrown right into that starting lineup. What are you going to do here with Brentford, though, Matt? You start looking at that head-to-head. Not the head-to-head. Start looking at current form, and it's a whole lot of losses in the Premier League. I think I counted them up, 5 losses in a row in the Premier League. Brentford, not really a team that you can really have confidence that you want to back, but Tony may be able to lift them. What are you thinking here?
Well, one thing that's good is, they at least played more competitively against Wolves. I know that they still didn't end up going through in the FA Cup, but they got a replay. I was on Brentford double chance in the replay against Wolves, so I cashed with them. So that makes me feel a little bit stronger. And, it's fun, Jason. I mean, the guy goes on an 8-month gambling ban, and so I want to gamble on him. So, I mean, welcome back, Ivan Toney. He is one of the best strikers in the league. I think that he can give them a big boost. I'm just going to caveat this with, I'm waiting on lineups really because I need to confirm that he is going to be starting. I think that he would start and play the full 90. I think that he's fresh, healthy. I don't see any reason for like an early substitution on a player like this. And then you look, Forest, we've always known they kind of struggle on the road. Both players have some significant absences. And so that's where you kind of look to, okay, who's the best player on the pitch? It's Ivan Toney. He's going to be the one taking the penalties. So I'm looking for a bounce back off the gambling suspension here. I'm looking at Toney to score and Brentford to win. You can find that anywhere in the plus 220s to plus 230 range. That appeals to me. I think that Brentford, the break has done them some good as well, I would think. And Forest, I don't know. It's a tough one.
Oh, I think you're back there, Matt. We got you.
Yep. I saw that it was kind of frozen there.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, that's just kind of my lean, at least for right now, is Toney to score and Brentford to win this one.
I was looking at this one. This one was an interesting, Matt, in trying to figure out the over or under. Brentford, 10 home matches. They've hit the over in 8 of their 10. If you took a look at what Forest has done on the road, they've had 10 games. They've only cashed the over in 6 of those 10, but obviously more than 50-50 in this one. They've allowed 20 goals, though, on the road. I get nervous, though. Forest is having 6 players away due to AFCON. That can really mess up, everything. kind of your chemistry, your flow, everything you need from an offensive standpoint to score goals. They've got 6 guys that are out due to that AFCON selection. I bet this one probably goes over. I would maybe just want to back Brentford here. I'm kind of with you on the Tony and the lifting it. I wonder what their team total of is just an over 1.5. I think that's got to be decent. Yeah, it's minus 110. Minus 110. You could also get Tony to be the goal scorer at plus money. I'm kind of looking like that. Just Forest has been too leaky on the road, giving up 20 goals in 10 matches. I kind of like Brentford team total here. A nice little bounce back in a spot in which their overs have cashed 8 of 10 at home so far this season.
Yeah, I agree. With so many absences, I think it's also another crucial one. You got to wait till lineups. I think here, very very much.
Yeah. Brentford favored minus 105, so big favorites here at home. All right, let's move over to Sunday. 2 more matches on Sunday. First one here is Sheffield taking on West Ham. This is one, Matt, where I've actually been dialed in on Sheffield. Remember, obviously Chris Wilder, took over, hit that under 2.5 in Chelsea there in Sheffield United. Then I hit the first half under there in Villa versus Sheffield. Was able to predict that they were able to kind of keep it close against City. So I feel like I've got a good pulse here. We know West Ham and how prolific they are for both teams to score. With this one being at Sheffield, I think this is another both teams to score. Paquetá has come back. That helped them. Obviously, for a match there, they didn't play without Kudus or Paquetá. They were really hampered in that 0-0 game against Brighton. But now Paquetá is back. I think this is a both teams to score. You're going to get West Ham tired coming off the replay against Bristol City midweek in the FA Cup. Either like Sheffield here or in the spot overall from like a double chance kind of perspective, or certainly a both teams to score. What are you thinking here in this one, Matt?
I'm kind of on the other side here. I think it's an unders play. I didn't really notice that Paquetá is back. But yeah, I mean, like Kudus being out, I mean, that's a big piece. No Jared Bowen. So like, I think that West Ham right now are a little toothless in attack. I think that Sheffield are always pretty toothless in attack. I think that the shading is correct on this one. That was my initial feel on this, was the under 2.5 was shaded at minus 135, and I agreed with it. That's kind of my lean here. Wait for lineups probably on this one because I don't have I think that Sheffield could do something here, but yeah, probably not enough to bet it at all on this one. But I do lean kind of a strong lean towards unders.
I guess, Matt, I hadn't heard that Bowen was out. You got no Bowen.
Yeah.
He's been filling in for Antonio. Obviously, Antonio's the number 9, but he's been out for a while, so they slid Bowman in as the number 9. If he's out, who the hell is the attacker in this? You're going back to Danny Ings? Are we going to Danny Ings, who started midweek? 40-year-old Danny Ings going to be able to come back 3 days later? Sheffield, man. Sheffield's getting a result here.
Yeah, I can see that. I really can. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a tough, tight, close match, and it's going to be decided by, fine margins. So it's not really one that I want to get interested in.
Actually, Matt, I'm showing Paquetá picked up a calf injury. He may be out. This is Sheffield, man. Hold on.
That's what I'm saying. So I thought that he was out, but then now I'm looking, and I don't see him on the injury report, which is really accurate as premierinjuries.com. I don't see him on there. But, I mean, you look at it. Look at Edson Alvarez, the Mexican who's really impressed recently in the midfield, out. Fornals, out. Benrahma, out. Red card. Aguard, AFCON. Kudus, who I think is the best newcomer in the Premier League, out. AFCON. Bowen, struggling. So Paquetá is like really key here. And if he's not going to go, like I think this line's going to get steamed down the other way. I think this then would be more towards, I think it would then, unders, draw, or if you like, Forest double chance, or sorry, not Forest, Sheffield double chance, like that. That's kind of where I see this one.
Yeah, you're looking at these injuries. It's just who is West Ham going to rely on to keep them competitive in this match from a goal scoring? Yeah, this one is a lineup checker. Yeah, I mean the lineup predictor that I use is they're predicting Ings, Benrahma, and Fornals as your attacking 3 with Souček tucked in underneath them. None of that scares me. Not with how well the defending is in this league. I mean, nothing attacks me or scares me with that.
Yeah, I see this one as a snoozer, like a nil-niller. That's how I see this one. I think it's it's right up there for being a runner on a 0-0 or something unders.
Yeah, yeah. This Sheffield, this is they've got to be. They're not often you can back a team like Sheffield at home. No real Matt. This is you got to back Sheffield.
I know. It's just like which one do you like more? Like this is one, for example, that I think it's very difficult to decipher. So this is one where I would then lean towards kind of breaking up the bets a little bit, and you take some Sheffield double chance. You take some under 2.5. Maybe you take a little sprinkle of a little draw money in there because I that's where I see this one. I don't. This one is not going to be a thriller. I definitely won't be watching this. This is going to be a bore.
Draw no bets plus 140 for Sheffield. Not price shopping like that.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then the under you said is about minus 125. Yeah. Yeah. That's a lineup checker, folks. That's exactly it. Sheffield in the under. Wow.
Why is both? I don't know. I would be both teams to score no plus
Yeah.
105.
Yeah. 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 No,
Something. Yeah.
well, that's exactly right. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Some of those lineups concerns. All right. We got an AFCON game. We got a 0-0 game. 18th minute. 0-0. Ivory Coast taking on Nigeria. So you love to see that score at the AFCON. All right. The other game on Sunday is Bournemouth taking on Liverpool. Here's where I mentioned if you like that Arsenal money line, we could probably find something to parlay it with a little bit later on this show. How about Arsenal, Liverpool money line parlay plus 124? We know what Liverpool has been able to do with Bournemouth over the years. They've actually had some absolute thumpers in terms of score lines up against them. There's also been some close ones, but this one's going to revert back towards more of the thumper. Yes, Liverpool does have the EFL Cup second leg coming up in midweek, but that is not until Wednesday. This will take the focus when you're in a title hunt and you're up against Bournemouth, a team that you've got to get all the points at. Of course, no Salah in this matchup. Really, the big concern is no Alexander-Arnold in. That's going to be a big blow for them. He's obviously not playing the number 9 position, but when he comes up in the midfield, he seems to be the one that's doing all the creativity. He knows when to send the ball in, always puts it in, it seems like, with the right amount of pace. With no Salah, no Trent, I don't think Liverpool's going to run away, but they're going to get the job done. That's why I just like Arsenal and Liverpool this week to get it done, each of them to get it done and collect the 3 points. That's my money line parlay.
It's amazing. This to me is it's one of the biggest matches, weirdly enough, of the season, I think, for Liverpool because you're dealing with these absentees. You've got City breathing down your neck, and you're going to probably start here. You're going to start Connor Bradley at right back, I would imagine. I think that there's no other way. He did play well in his first start against Fulham in the EFL Cup. You're right. This minus 140 price is because there is no Trent, obviously no Salah. But I think when you look at this 11, and I mean, there's no Szoboszlai, no Wataru Endo. I mean, we can keep going on that. But when you do look at this 11 that Liverpool are going to put together, it's going to be Nunez, Jota, Diaz up top, which is still pretty damn good. Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Alexis McAllister in the midfield. I can get behind that midfield personally. I think it's a pretty solid midfield. And then you look at a back line of Gomez will play left back, Bradley will play right back, Konate, Virgil, Alisson. I think it's good enough to get the job done here. I know that Bournemouth are scary. I think that they're a very solid team, most improved team probably for me of the season. I think that their manager, what they did going to get him from La Liga. I think that he's a very, very, very good manager. And I think that this match will be tight. It will be nervy. This is one that Liverpool have got to find a way to get over the line. They have to without Salah, without Trent, Szoboszlai. All those guys are coming back soon. They don't have major injuries. Obviously, Salah at AFCON. Bournemouth, for example, they've got a couple little things too. I mean, I've watched Semenyo a few times, and he kind of is. He starts normally at the right wing for Bournemouth, and he's at the AFCON. He's a big, strong, physical forward. They're not going to have him. They've got another guy that's at AFCON And then they've got a couple little injuries. So I don't think that they're like at their, they're not going to have their best 11 either to say. Um, so so yeah, put it all together. I think that Liverpool grind this one out. I think it's tough, close. I'm not sure on unders or overs really. Probably lean overs for me. I think that Bournemouth, they've got a good track record of scoring. Solanke's definitely in form. So they have issue. They've got some concerns Liverpool need to be wary of.
Yeah, most definitely. You know what? Yeah, this is not going to be a runaway. I'm still trusting Liverpool, though. No Salah, but we're going to have Jota. We're going to have Darwin Nunez. We're going to have Diaz and Gakpo. That's good enough to get it done. And Liverpool, they've had 10 away matches. They've only allowed Tottenham and Brighton to score 2 or more. Everybody else is either 0 or 1 goals when they go on the road. So they're going to know what's going to be up, facing them. Crowd's obviously going to be against them. Control the matches for the first 20 minutes, and then chip away and eventually get the goals and get the win and walk out of there with 3 points. That's why, again, with this Arsenal, Palace, Liverpool, Bournemouth, I'm not willing to predict an over/under. But those teams are getting the 3 points each of them. They're going to get it done. They've got enough time to prepare. So I'll take that Arsenal-Liverpool money line parlay. Let's move over to the last Premier League match. It's Monday afternoon. It's Brighton. It's Wolves. Man, I'm going to do it. Brighton's matches, how about 18 of 20 matches have seen both teams to score? That's right, 18 of 20 have seen both teams to score. Neto is back for this Wolves team. I think this is a both teams to score and over 2.5 at plus money. That's just what you've been getting in Wolves matches as well. Then you add it into what Brighton's been doing, 18 of 20. Both teams to score over 2.5 plus 110.
Wow. I do like that. I totally agree. Last time out, 4-1. The time before that, it was a 6-0 and then a 3-2. I mean, you've gotten some nice matches, though, with goals in between these two teams. And you're right. Neto is crucial because we know that Juan is out at the Asian Cup. So they need Neto to step in and fill that void because Juan has been in form. He's been scoring the goals. He's been bagging them left and right. So I could not I couldn't agree more with your play, really. I think both teams are scoring over 2.5. It might be one of the best looks on this small card.
Yeah, I thought this was the strongest play of the entire weekend. Was this play? And you got to wait
Yeah.
until Monday, unfortunately, to get the cash. But I think it's the stats line up perfect, and you're giving to you plus money. You got to take the bet. Got to take the bet and just live with the result. Goals are going to be in that matchup. Who's going to walk away with points? Are you trusting Brighton yet to get points? I don't know. I struggle with the winner on this one.
Let me take a look and just see something real quick on who's going to be there and whatnot. What do they have? Who's out?
Oh, from the lineup perspective. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's one thing. There's no Matoma and no Solly Marsh still. So those guys, those are that's a
Matoma's
little
at
bit
the
of a
Asian Cup.
Matoma, I believe he's injured. I don't even think he's at the Asian Cup. He's injured.
Hmm.
Wolves, Al Nori, he's at AFCON. Juan is at Asian Cup. But other than that, they look pretty strong. If you made me bet a side, probably take Wolves double chance.
All right, just drop it in here, this link to where you get predicted lineups from. If anybody wants those things, that's where you can see who's going to suit up for the upcoming weekend. I just want to go to Brighton here on this sheet, on this thing that I sent. Out. Oh, yeah, Ansu Fanti's also out. So they're projecting Buonanotte, Welbeck, and Jalpe. Yeah, it's still goals. I mean, with how Deserve is going to set them up, pressing, still goals, but yeah. If I had to predict a winner, let me look at Wolves' projected lineup. Let's see, where's Wolves? Here we go. They don't. They got Neto starting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nip and tuck. That one's about what's the draw on that one? Plus 320. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice price.
I don't see a lot of separation with these lineups. I mean, yeah, you see goals, but I don't see true separation.
Yeah.
Looks like I think Wolves are missing less heavy hitters. I'd back Wolves. Wolves is missing less of
That's
them.
what I'm saying. And then the only thing that scares me a little bit on that is just like, they got mopped 6-0 against Brighton at one point last year. And then
Right.
and they got mopped 4-1. I mean, they haven't, like, you want to talk about a team, like, here's a good head to head to scare you off of that one.
Yeah.
Brighton have crushed them in the last 4 meetings in the Prem with a 9, 10, 13, 13 goal differential in the last 4 meetings between these two. That is funky.
Well, this is always that classic of when you do your handicap and you're trying to weight in season-long stats versus head-to-head. You just gave out a stat that said Brighton's own the head-to-head. But if you want to look at who comes into this matchup hotter, Wolves is the fourth best team over the last 6 matches. They're averaging 2.17 points per match. They're fourth best, where Brighton is clinging to the top 10 at ninth, only at 1.5 points
Perfect,
per match.
perfect reasoning for me to just agree with your bet more.
Goals,
Both
yeah.
teams are scoring over 25.
All right. I am going to, just because this is the Premier League part of this show, I will toss these couple up here on the screen just so people can have them. Then we'll jump on into the EFL Cup. I'll get to Matt's here in a little bit while he's talking. I'll throw his up for the Premier League. Let's jump on over to it. It's Tuesday. It's at Stamford Bridge. This is, of course, the second leg. Middlesbrough has the advantage as they picked up the 1-0 win at home in leg number 1. Now we go back to Stamford Bridge for the return leg. Aggregate, right? Not only does Chelsea need a win if they want to advance, but they've got to overcome the 1-0 aggregate score. Everybody talked about going into that matchup how tough it was to go to Middlesbrough. Everybody said, man, like, they're a tough team. You look at their home and away, it ain't tough when it goes on the road, though. And you're not hearing people doing the same chatter as, speaking up highly for Middlesbrough. This is a lineup. I wish Nkunku was back. Pochettino actually said he's worried. He's gone 10 straight days without even being on the pitch. So he's getting a little nervous in terms of his recovery and the setbacks that he's having. You still would like to think that Chelsea can do it. Is Chelsea a team that I'm willing to trust against a Middlesbrough team about middle of the table in the championship? I don't know if Chelsea's like a minus 425. Middlesbrough is probably going to pack it in here, just try and preserve one, maybe even get the extra time. I don't know, Matt. Do you feel strongly about this one?
I mean, I thought that Middlesbrough in the first leg, I thought they were so bad. I thought their players looked, it was so obvious. Like, this is a first division team versus a second division team, like a middle of the table second division. I thought that they looked worse than that. I thought they looked like could have been like a League One side. Like, they were poor, but they got the job done. I don't know how. Like, they did have a couple nice over the top plays that got through, and they were clinical on one chance, and that was kind of it. Cole Palmer had a shocker of a day. I mean, he should
He
have
could have had a
bagged.
first half bracer. Hell, a first half Hattie. He had 2
For
chances
sure.
right in front of the goal that were just like, whoa.
And that's where, like, Middlesbrough were probably already a little bit of a sitting mode at those times, and Chelsea were carving them up. And everybody's kind of ripping on Chelsea. They can't break down, a deep lying, low block. But, man, I don't think that Middlesbrough can last the full 90 in this one. I really don't. I think that Chelsea bag one. I mean, Middlesbrough are going to have to score. They'll have to find a way to score to get through, because I think that Chelsea are ripened to get 2 goals here. I think they bag one, and then the floodgates open. I'm looking at Chelsea minus 1.5 to get the job done in 90 minutes. I do want Nkunku. I'm hearing that he might go. He's a question mark. So for that reason, I don't think that this line is moving over, too much either way. So I'll just wait on it. But I do think, like, if I get an Nkunku, Palmer, Sterling, for example, like front line, like, that's enough for me, like, to play this one. Chelsea are going to the final. I'm very, very confident Chelsea make it to the final. I wonder what that price is, because some of these books now aren't even like putting that stuff up like to qualify prices anymore, which is really annoying. But I'm sure that they're probably Chelsea are probably minus 200 to qualify. Like, I think that that's worthy of a parlay.
Yeah, they're minus 425 on the money line. 2 advances minus 280. Minus 280.
80. I like that in a parlay. Like, you want a good one. Like, I think that Chelsea to qualify and Arsenal to on the money line to beat Crystal Palace. I think that that's a strong parlay. Um, I think that Chelsea are going to find a way here, even though I mean they were awful. I thought that Middlesbrough were bad. Like you look at Middlesbrough's players, they look like they just got done working like a 9 to 5 job, and then they get out there and have to play. Like that's what it looked like to me. A couple of them, they did not look like professionals. Um, that's where it was. So take it for what it is. But I think that Chelsea get through here.
Yeah, I think Chelsea do get through. I had watched that first leg because I was on the first half under with Chelsea double chance. So I was sucked into watching it all. First half under due to Cole Palmer's struggles came through. But then he couldn't help me out in the second half where I just needed a goal. He couldn't quite help me out. So they were the better team over the course of that 90 minutes. Don't let that 1-0 scoreline fool you. Chelsea was definitely the better side. So minus 280. Let's see if we can't parlay that something here with Fulham and Liverpool. We did our Premier League preview. Notice we did not mention Liverpool. So Fulham. We did not mention Fulham. Fulham's going to come into this game with an advantage. They've already played twice this season. You saw the 4-3 cracker at Anfield. Fulham didn't reproduce that in the first leg when they went to Anfield. While they were up 1-0 at halftime, they weren't creating those chances like they were that first Premier League leg. And then Liverpool got a couple good moments, right? They threw on some subs. They threw on Nunez. They threw on Gakpo. And they were able to come through, alter the scoreline, and eventually get the 2-1 win. With the extra rest here, with the game being played at Craven Cottage, if Liverpool is in one of these struggles against Bournemouth, one of these long, drawn-out, like full-on fights, you could see where Fulham could pull off a result here and maybe shock the world. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all.
Yeah, I totally I'm in agreement with you on this one. Like I think that Liverpool are going to put a lot, most of their eggs really in this Premier League basket. I think that they're really focused on Bournemouth. And then they're going to say, all right, let's just try to hold on right now because I think that Fulham were hard done in that first leg. I thought that Fulham were arguably better than Liverpool, truly. Like I think that they missed a couple big opportunities on the counterattack to put that game away. I thought they could have been up 2-0. We get a lucky deflected goal from Curtis Jones. Mm-hmm. And then 1 minute later, the floodgate kind of opened and there was a good goal by Gakpo from Nunez. But I'm telling you, I think that this is a sucker play, Liverpool money line here. I really do. I think that Fulham double chance is very strong in this game. I'm not going to say that they're going to go through. I'm not going to say that they're going to win the match, but I don't think they lose here at the Cottage. And I know that this is a pretty tough place to go play. Liverpool lost here on the opening day of last season at the Cottage. That was with Nunez and everybody, really. So, yes, this is tough. I don't think that, we're not going to see Szoboszlai. We're not going to see Trent. These are kind of these final games where we're resting, making sure that everybody's getting back to 100% because then the second half of the season really starts. After this match, I guess Bournemouth is truly the start of the second half, but for Liverpool with their injury concerns and all that stuff, the second half of the season is going to begin after that Fulham game because then they've got a host of fixtures. They go Chelsea, Arsenal. They've got some tough fixtures coming up. So I think that Liverpool are just going to try to sit in and scrape by and get something on the counter attack. Fulham double chance for me looks pretty strong.
Yep. Yeah, man, we saw that one the same. All right, you're getting real analysis when you're not just blindly backing your team. Love that, Matt. I didn't know if you were going to come along with me on Fulham or not, and there you did. You came along with me.
No, I agree. There's been plenty of times I've bet against Liverpool.
Yeah,
plenty of times.
Those are the great hits. All right, Matt's just going to roll with Arsenal halftime, full-time. Matt, of course, wants to see that lineup. He wants to make sure Ivan Toney is in that lineup there for Brentford as they're taking on Forest. We both really want to see these lineups for Sheffield versus West Ham. I'm getting no Paquetá. I'm backing Sheffield or the under in some capacity in that match as well. And then in terms of any EFL Cup bets, those matches aren't until Tuesday. They're not till Wednesday. I got time to price shop Fulham on the double chance, and then they're going to come in fully rested. They're getting their absolute best lineup. We're not getting anything near Liverpool's lineup coming off a Sunday game on the road at Bournemouth. So really is a nice spot here for Fulham to get to Wembley.
I think Chelsea minus 1.5 with the right lineup is a very strong play in that second leg as well.
They should. I mean, it should be a strong. if you could do, what's Fulham plus 1.5? What are they going to get you to get into 1.5? Let me see.
Fulham plus 1.5 against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really juicy.
Don't be scared. Let me see. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Minus 225.
Wow. That's almost like something's going on static-y wise.
Yeah, it's my thing here. Sorry.
I think, I mean, dude, that might be worthy of a singles bet and laying it. I might lay that number. You give me Fulham plus 1.5 in that game? Are you kidding me?
Fulham
Minus
plus
220
with Chelsea to go through is even money on Bet Rivers. I like that as my EFL Cup parlay.
Jesus,
Chelsea to go through, Fulham plus 1.5.
That's really strong. That's a really strong look.
Chelsea to go through, Fulham plus 1.5, even money. I'm going to add that.
Yeah, I'm adding that. I'm going to hit that too.
Chelsea to go through, Fulham plus 1.5. All right, there it is, boys. Got one more extra play. EFL Cup parlay, Chelsea to go through, to advance, whatever your book calls it, and give me Fulham plus 1.5. I like it.
2 money line parlays on this week's Between the Posts, folks. 2 of them.
Not quite 2 for me, but I hear you.
Well, Arsenal and Liverpool money line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on that.
And then Fulham, Chelsea.
Basically Fulham. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting 2 out here this week.
We're getting 2 out here. 2 Between the Post parlays of the week, right there. Okay. What was that, Tony, to get a? We said it was even money on DraftKings. What was Tony to bag a goal here on the book that gives you the best prices?
He's like plus 135 to plus 150 to bag one.
Mm-hmm. So Maupay is going to the bench. And you're going to kick Neil Maupay to the bench for Ivan Toney. Are they selling Ivan Toney this window for 80, 75 mil? Or are they going to keep him until the summer comes?
I think they're both going to play. They're going to roll out with 2 strikers.
Let Tony get a brace, let his value go up a tick more, and then sell him next week to Arsenal.
No, he's not going. He's not going in this window.
I thought his deal was up. His deal's not up in the summer for some reason. I thought plus 130 over on FanDuel.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of out of respect for the gambling gods. Let's be real.
I know. I feel like, I'm going to hit that. All right, I just added that to it. If he doesn't start, it voids. What the hell do I care? It'll void.
Yeah.
There's no harm. I'm hitting them. Plus 130, that's the best price. Right. Like I said, DraftKings is even money. All right, let me let you go, Matt. Hey, if you're sweating this under 2.5 with me, we got 0-0 game. 0-0 game between Ivory Coast and Nigeria. We got Nigeria double chance hitting and the under 2.5 hitting. All right, Matt. Felt good being back in here with you. We'll, of course, come back on next Thursday, noon Eastern, 10 Premier League games, full slate, winter break over. Just time to jump back into these weekly preview shows. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Good luck on these bets that you have, and enjoy the action this weekend. Matt, enjoy it. Good luck.
Thanks, Jason. Let's go.